Okay, so this movie was directed by Adam Wingard, and I think the screenplay is by Eric Pearson and Max Borenstein. Okay, but here's my theory on how the ideas for this film came about. So I got a feeling that when they all got together with the focus group and they brainstorming ideas, I got a feeling one of them came about and said, hey, how about we take all of the best conspiracy theories that we can think of, put them in a bag, shake them up, put Godzilla in there and King Kong, and boom, we have a movie. And I think they looked at each other real quick and thought, yeah, let's run with it. Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong, I think is the 4th installment in the MonsterVerse. And I don't really remember the previous movies that well. I mean, I do, but they're not that fresh in my mind. But there's one thing I do know, and I may be wrong with this, but as far as the tone is concerned, this movie is so different. I mean, you have Kong, and then you have the other 2 Godzilla movies. And yeah, when you check the tone of these movies, they're pretty similar. Well, the 2 Godzillas are, and then Kong was pretty much on the same level, should I say. But with this movie, I don't know. I think they took another direction. I'd like to say that the tone is different, but no. The tone of this movie is all over the place. So in this movie, you have Kong literally living under a dome. I don't know how they got him in there because he's no longer on the island. Now he's in this dome, and this dome is there to protect him from Godzilla. Like the humans thought that he needed protection from Godzilla, so they put him in his dome. But obviously he's not happy in there. He wants to get out, but he's got his little friend, this girl that he kind of grew fond of, and they can communicate in some ways. So she kind of keeps him calm. At the same time, you have this power-hungry company who's trying to get to, guess where? The center of the earth.
Readings from Godzilla.
As our sun fuels the planet's surface, this energy sustains the hollow earth, enabling life as powerful as our aggressive titan friend.
That's right, we go into the center of the earth, right? And they want to get down there to grab a power source. Why, you may say? Well, because they want to be on top of the food chain again. Ever since the Titan came, the human feel a little bit, inadequate. So they thought, you know what, we're going to go in there, grab us some power so we can come along and defeat the Titan. It's just what they do with this power that's kind of funny. So eventually what they do is they get King Kong to the center of the earth, and then he leads them to the power source. And that's pretty much the movie without spoiling it too much. But I will say spoiler alert, just in case I, spoil it. Now, like I said, the tone of this movie is kind of all over the place. So in this movie you have a plot and a subplot, and at the end of the movie they link up for a satisfying ending, right? But that's the thing, the tone of the main plot is totally different to the tone of the subplot. So in the main plot you have the little girl, and with her is the character that's played by Rebecca Hall. And once you're with them, it's pretty serious. When there's danger, you can feel it. You can tell the stakes are high. It's kind of a serious tone with emotion, right? But then you have the subplot, which is mainly Millie Bobby Brown, the New Zealand kid from Deadpool. And when you're with them and their storyline in the subplot, it's so comedic. The characters are almost like cartoon characters. You don't feel any danger with them. And these jokes, that sounds like they came out of a sitcom or something. The dialogue and the way the characters were handled didn't fit the main plot. So, for example, the character that Millie Bobby Brown plays goes on a mission to discover everything that's going on with those conspiracy theories. But first, she needs to find the guy that be talking all that conspiracy theory stuff. And she finds him just like that. Like she got some kind of CIA or FBI training or something. And then, after she finds him, they break into some heavily guarded facility. Some underground shit. And they break into it like it's nothing. And it's so played out, so easy. There's no danger, no nothing. She breaks into the facility like it's nothing. There's no danger. The stakes definitely ain't high. And he plays that way throughout most of the subplot. As a matter of fact, at the end of the movie, she reunites with her dad. Remember her dad from the previous movies? Yeah, him. In this movie, he's barely in there. But at the end of the movie, she reunites with her dad. And the way it plays out, you have that music playing at the back and, dad looks so worried and shit.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
But I'm like, dude, your daughter's a superhero, man. Chill out. She's got this. Really, would it look better if the dad came over and gave her a high five and be like, yo, good job. It's like it's two different movies. The subplot is literally played for jokes and, have some fun. The characters can do anything. You know what I mean? No real danger. Comic relief. And then the main plot is serious. It's children crying and people almost drowning. And I've seen other movies where they can shift tone in the same movie and it's done well. But in this movie, it was like I'm watching two different movies. And if we're talking about the main plot, I'd have to say that the little girl stole the show. To be honest, not only she stole the show, I'd say she's the main character and she was pretty much in charge. And yeah, I think she really elevated that movie for me. I don't really have much to say about the acting because the acting was good. The dialogue sometimes was a little bit meh, but still only when it came to the subplot. And also the movie is pretty predictable. As in, that when you got two heroes fighting, eventually they're going to have to come together to fight a greater evil. Which brings us to the antagonist, or the bad guy of this movie. Once again, it's just an evil corporation. Okay, cool, I get it. They're the one who wanted to send Kong to the middle of the earth so he can guide them to the power source. And at the end, spoiler alert, that corporation becomes the main villain that Godzilla and King Kong has to fight.
Pilot engaged.
And damn, that was dumb. And I don't know much about Godzilla's lore, so I don't know if that type of stuff usually happen in Godzilla. Maybe. But damn, it was dumb. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I mean, they're the most boring villain ever. Like, there's nothing with the villain in this movie. But what he does is dumb as fuck. But damn, it's awesome. And I think this sums up the movie for me. I mean, the movie is called Godzilla vs. Kong. And everything Godzilla and Kong did was pretty amazing. With the sprinkle of the evil corporation. And that shit was just pure dumbness and pure awesomeness. And this is what I mean. The movie's called Godzilla vs. Kong. And you know what? It does what it says on the tin. Because every time the human was on the screen, any humans except for the little girl, but every time there was a man, a woman on the screen, I was like, boo this man! Except for the little girl. The little girl is pretty nice. And her bond with King Kong was nice. But everybody else, like, every time I saw Homo sapien, I was like, boo the humans. You know what I mean? So, it goes without saying that Godzilla vs. Kong does what it says on the tin. So when I pressed play on this movie, and I realized that the subplot was a little bit annoying, Millie Bobby Brown did a good job, and so did her co-actors. But, I'm sorry, their part was just boring. The main plot of the movie with the little girl, that was entertaining. I would have wished we could have followed them more. Overall, the CGI was really good. So was the acting. The storytelling, kind of a letdown with the subplot, but you can look past that. You know why? Because it's Godzilla vs. Kong. So, shut your brain off, put Godzilla vs. Kong, and you'll have a good time. I'm gonna give it a 5. 5 out of 10. It's not like I'm gonna do a Monsterverse marathon anytime soon. But if I do, I'm going Kong, and then the 2 Godzilla movies, and then Godzilla vs. Kong, and then Pacific Rim, Pacific Rim 2, and then a whole bunch of anime. Oh, and another thing. Where are the Japanese? I've realized that in these Godzilla movies, you get that one Japanese guy, and he usually has like 2 or 3 lines or whatever. I think maybe more in the first one, but then that's it. But then when it comes to the destruction, Jesus Christ, Japan always gets fucked up. And there's a part in this movie that's really cool. You got King Kong, Godzilla, and the evil corporation fighting together, and it's during the day. Do you know what? It kind of reminded me of old school Power Rangers or old school Godzilla. And talking about old school, I bet you're thinking, why do I have the 3 Avengers over here? Because I was just thinking, they're doing the Monsterverse, and you have the MCU, and there is a comic, which is Godzilla King of Monsters, and he goes against the Avengers. Hashtag Godzilla King of Monsters versus the Avengers.
So you're not even gonna say thanks for watching. Guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and yeah. Now was that so fucking hard?